10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Assalamualaikum. So today our topic is about inflation. Alright, the first topic is about positive effect. What is positive effect? First, fixed property owners, real estate owners such as land and shop owners who gain when property price increase during inflation. The second one is shareholder. Shareholder will receive higher dividend when profit is highest in companies. And then the next one is businessman, producer. The general of price and producer may higher profit, leading the producer to increase their production and investment. And the second one is debtor. Debtor will gain because to repay the loan it will less than the real value. Okay, they will receive credit to make spending of the money repay lower than power borrowing. And the last one is balance of trade. Balance of trade is the domestic product increase. This makes less attractive to foreigners and leading to a reduction in the demand. Imports will increase because the import products are cheaper than domestic products. So this is the one for positive. Okay, we move to negative effect. How about you, Jan?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. So we speak about negative effect. First is about fixed income earners. That is, individuals who receive a fixed income such as salaries and pensions will face a loss if inflation happens. This is because inflation reduces the individual's real income and the value of the money. The second one is bondholders. Bondholders that receive fixed interest from bonds suffer losses during inflation. This is because during inflation their real profit will decrease because they earn fixed interest. For example, a retired business executive whose current incomes entirely from dividend from amanah saham national berhad will incur losses. The third is savers. During inflation, the value of fixed deposits, bonds, life insurance policies and money will depreciate in terms of real income. Real income is the purchasing power of that money as measured by the quantity of goods and services that can be purchased with it. And the last is creditors or leaders. Creditors will lose because they receive the money owed, but to them, the real value money will be less. Okay, we move to the next one.
Alright, we have two measures to control inflation. First, monetary policy, and second one is fiscal policy. Alright, I pass to Azura.
Okay, monetary policy. Monetary policy is how a central bank or other agency government govern the supply of money and interest rate in an economy in order to influence output, employee and price. So A. Credit control. The central bank of the country adopts a number of methods to control the quantity and quality of credit. B. Rising the interest rate. The central bank would pursue commercial banks to increase their rates of interest. And C. The discount rate. The central bank monetary policy is to direct towards credit squeeze to control inflation. Raise the price of borrowing fund.
Alright, how about you, Azira?
Okay, next measure to control inflation is fiscal policy. Okay, fiscal policy means by which a government adjusts its spending levels and tax rates to monitor and influence the nation's economy. Okay, first, fiscal policy is reduction and unnecessary expenditure. the government should reduce unnecessary expenditure on non-development activities in order to inflation. Okay, next fiscal policy is increase in taxes. Increase in taxes is cut the personal consumption expenditure, the rates of personal, corporate and commodity taxes. Next, surplus budget. So surplus budget, an important measure is to adopt anti-inflationary policy.
Alright, so we move to analysis the impact of state grand election. So this happened in our country. So the first one I pass to Asmira.
Okay. The changes of government administration of grand election G14 that happened in 2018. The first one, the loss of revenue for GST. The total GST collection stand 44.3 billion in 2017, higher from 41.2 billion registered in the year 2016. This was also higher compared to the 41.5 billion estimate during the tabling of budget 2018. Higher collection was made possible due to the healthy trend in consumer spending, which for private consumption growing rates of 7% in 2017. A revenue shortfall of about 27.1 billion could be expected as it is revenue stream from GST is quite sizable, forming the second largest contributor to the total revenue after corporation is income tax. GST start from 2015 until 2017, while AST from 2010 until 2017. Which is, as we look at the table, we look that it increased 2010 until 2014, which is 70,270. While in 2015, it decreased to 8,260. While 2017, which is 63 only for SST, which is service sales tax. GST happened in 2015, which is 27 and 12, which is it increased to 2017 44,290.
So the next one is to Harry.
Okay, after PRU 14, it also gives impact to the consumer sector, which is the consumer sector has a huge spike in government change. The previous government tax policies was abolished, and this has prompted the sector to move on. When the GST tax was abolished and the government provided holiday tax, it's revitalized the consumer sector. So the consumer are taking this opportunity to shop, and this gives positive sentiment to companies in the consumer sector. So for example, companies such as Padini and Paksen began moving as soon as the market reopened following a change in government. Padini stock rose 41% from 4.40 ringgit up to a high of 6 ringgit and 20 cents before falling back when the government introduced SST as well as Paksen. For Paksen also increased 60% from 40 cents before the grand election GE14 and rose to 64 cents before falling back. This happened within 100 days.
Alright, the next one is Haziq.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nancy. So before I start my talk, I would like to give thanks to you guys for inviting me. So for question C, I will talk about the perspective over my view of economic outlook and fiscal policy on budget 2020 under the new government in Malaysia. So So as you know, in the 14th general election, GE14 of Malaysia held on May 9, 2018, came as a major surprise when Malaysians voted the Pakatan Harapan (PH) coalition party into government and defeat the incumbent coalition party, that is Barisan Nasional (PN). As for that, under the Pakatan Harapan government, the budget 2020 was tabled in Parliament on 11 October 2019 by the Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng and has been given a damn share prosperity, sustainable and inclusive growth towards high-income economy. The key highlights from the budget 2020, as we can see among them, is for economic outlook. Number one is inflation and employment remain low. Inflation is forecast to stay low in 2020 at 2.0%, and labor market conditions are expected to be stable with unemployment rate at 3.3%. So for fiscal policy, as we can highlight, the key among them is number one is plans to create 765,000 jobs in 5 years, through investment support for SME and exporters as well as the Malaysians work intensive. And number two, my point is reducing the cost of living. Minimum 80% discount on price highways, toll charge, and introduction of the rent to own RDO home financing home. So that's all for me.
So today we want to talk about Malaysia GDP. So I pass to my friend Syamil.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Syamil. I have done my research about GDP from before the election till after the election. So what I can conclude is Malaysia's economy growth slowed since 2018 despite of smooth transition of power from the past government to this new government. So for 2019, Malaysia's economy is not starting on a solid footing. Oil price at the lowest since 2017. As we all know, Malaysia's production mostly influenced by the oil price, since we have Petronas that we export our oil to the other country. The current government have a big pressure on them to deal with this problem. And the bad news is that analysis from experts state that in the coming months and year, the ringgit, our currency dollar, will be weakened more because of political inconsistency.
A few moments later, a few inches later, 2 hours later, 1 eternity later.
Okay, we are back.
We need to cut the video since all of us was thirsty and
Hungry.
So this is one of style we need to cover up our weakness. We want santai-santai, right? So now I would like to continue my journey explaining about Malaysia's GDP. So what I want to add is the current situation, which is the uncertainty of Mahathir or Anwar Ibrahim becoming Prime Minister, had affected investors. This is because of investor does not like uncertainty, and China and American trade war had affected global market, not just for Malaysia but all around the world. And it is not right for us to judge PH, Pakatan Harapan, which is the new government, solely on these political problems. Next, I will explain on a graph chart. So now I will explain it on a graph chart. So first of all, we will start with the real GDP growth. Since 2013, we start off with 5%, and had increased to 6.5% in 2014. On 2015, which is we start using new taxation system that had been imposed by ex-Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib, which is had slowly grow the GDP again to reach 6% again. On 2018, we have grand election, which is had affected the GDP. As you can see, and as you all know, the new government had changed the taxation system, which from GST to SST, and had been sideways for these 2 years and had reached 5% again. Right. For the unemployment rate, we can see there's no much change from 3% and 2019 still 3%, and we have the grand election on 2018, but there's no much changement. This 2015 we have imposed GST system. Still it was around 3%. So there's nothing much that changed this unemployment rate. On the other hand, inflation rate, in 2013 we start with 2% and increase to 3%, 3.5% till 2015, which is we start using new taxation system, which is GST again, and had increased to 3% again. We had reached a lower inflation rate in 2015, just before the GST system, and inflation rate was really low, which is good. But after the taxation system had changed, it increased again. It is increased, and in 2018, which is our grand election year, 14th grand election had come, the new government had changed the system again to SST, which had affect the inflation rate to a very low one, which is good. And it is good for inflation rate. It's good for us to use SST. On the exchange rate from Malaysia ringgit rate compared to US dollar, we can see in 2013 we start with 3 point something ringgit compared to 1 US dollar, and this had grown since 2015, which reached 4.5%. That might be affected from the GST system, and it is going up, going down and up again, just above the par of 4 ringgit to $1. And on 2018, which is our grand election had come, it is still the same till 2019, which the rate is 4 ringgit, and there's nothing much to be changed. The source that we get it from CIC.
Okay, thank you Syamil. So in my opinion about analysis after GE14, what happened in Bank Negara has lowered Malaysia's economic growth forecast for 2018 is 5%. This is earlier estimate of 5.5% to 6%. Or the country economy has expanded below the 5.5% level over the last two consecutive thank you quarters. In fact, Malaysia's gross domestic product is GDP growth has been
Sorry.
Can you start your point again?
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. After other countries, economy has expanded below the 5.5 level over the last two consecutive quarters. In fact, Malaysia gross GDP has been growth since the third quarter on 2017, when the economy grew by 6.2% year on year. So that's my opinion. So what about you guys' opinion? Don't be shy.
I want to add Farah point. The softer growth given the fall in government development expenditure in the second quarter and the lackluster performance of liquefied natural gas and crude palm oil mean that the early estimates could not be met. Furthermore, global purchasing manager index and export volumes have been moderating.
Alright, and our discussion, that's all from us. Thank you.
So thank you to our panel. So that's all from us. Bye bye.
Bye.